Good evening and welcome back. Last time I was working on these. Good evening
Oops.
and welcome back. Last time I was working on these. Good evening
Oops.
and welcome back. Last time I was working on these. Good. Oops. So, Okay, sorry about that. That echo. Um, I forgot to mute parts of this here, so sorry about that. Um, like I said, I was working on house pieces, and I still need to fix the UVs for this, I think. But this is one of my um, new corners that I want to add into the houses. And then work on other stuff. Um, Hello, Mark. How are you? Hello, Saint Medium. How are you? Um, Mark was so kind to create some pieces for me that I can build furniture out of. Looks a bit strange here, but those are the pieces. They are textured, look quite nicely in Engine here. And I'll jump into Blender in a moment and build some tables and chairs out of them. But let's jump in here. Let's remove that. Also change this back to static light. Oops, nope. Undo that. Still kind of need to fix my houses here. But I have, at least for some of the smaller houses, I have sketches that I can use to kind of rebuild them. But I'm not quite sure if I will use the blueprint for that. So, not sure. But I think I will do a bit of a shorter stream today because it's quite warm already. Again, like last week. And that's really bad for streaming in here. So I will probably just jump into Blender and build a few tables. How do we close this? It's just, yeah. So okay. So mark these ones are the ones I can use to build stuff out of. Yeah, okay, these are combined, so let's move those to the side. Then select all those. Okay, let's see. Let's start with a table. piece. Okay. Let's snap those together. Okay, let's see. What kind of leg do we want to give this? Yeah, let's take the fancy one here. Snap this there. let's join this together. And export that out. Let's see. No, not there. Oops. Be projects, Blender models, and house pieces. No. Okay, so we need a new folder here for furniture. And I do have a table 0, 0 here. Let's overwrite that. I think that's the one I imported into the engine already. So let's just try this. And yeah, here we go. So if I re-import that one, need to change the material, and it looks a lot better. Might want to kind of rotate these around a bit, but I think it looks nice. Yeah, maybe that as well. Move them a bit closer together. Let's see. Normal. I think I might need to move these closer together. I think that might work. Oh, did have this one. So now it should be a bit more centered there. Yeah, like I said, I need to flip some of them to kind of break up this a bit. So rotate X 90. No, 180. Yeah, let's try that. I think these might need to be on the outside, because those are a bit lighter, so they would make more sense on the outside that way. So, which one was it? Those two. think I moved the wrong ones. Yeah, I could do that. That's true. Make it a bit easier. Let's do this and then image texture. Where did I save those? Here, I think. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, I moved the wrong ones, so I wanted to move this here. This here. Alright, now I need to move this. So there, let's see. Let's take this one. Put here. And then rotate this. Oh, this is not the middle there. Hello. How are you? Ignore that. Let's see, I need to move all these over slightly. And now we have these kind of highlights here on the outside, which would make a bit more sense. One advice I have for choosing the engine is think of a small mechanic, small thing that you want to build in a level, and take, for instance, CryEngine, Unreal Engine, and build that in both of them. And then the one that you like better, stick with that. In this case, both engines are free. So if it's in this case a 3D project, I would think for CryEngine and Unreal Engine, build it for both of them. Really small, tiny project, build it in both of them, try to figure it out in both of them, and then kind of stick with the engine you like better. Can't tell you which engine you want. For me, I started this project in Unity, and at some point I switched over to Unreal. And at the moment I'm working mostly in blueprints, and haven't done much C++ in it yet. How big is your team? If you want to make a massive open world, then don't do it alone. You definitely need to have people in your team, and that's the other thing. Do you have experience in that? If you're just starting out, do something simpler. Do something you can achieve. Definitely don't try to create an MMO. I mean, if it's something you want to just do on your own just to learn, go for it, but keep in mind that it is a lot of work. And especially for kind of I'm not sure what you mean by massive open world. Let me show you something. Let me show you something here. Takes a moment to load all that. I've been working on this game for a bit more than 2 years now. And the whole map is 4 kilometers by 4 kilometers. And the main play area is around here. So it's, not sure, maybe a kilometer by 2 or so. And most of the map is empty. So you definitely need to keep in mind that it will take a long time to create the game. And if it's not better to work on something smaller and make that look really nice, and then maybe small levels and maybe just a graphic as an overworld map, and then load in levels for specific areas on the map. Yeah, that's another aspect. That's why I said build something really small. For instance, build a room. Build just the inside of a house. Just one room. And build that in the engines you want to try. So build that in CryEngine, build that in Unreal Engine, and then add the mechanics you want to have in your game in that small room, and see which one of them is better. Yeah, don't do that. Don't even try that, because it's, yeah, no. Yeah, okay. That's the thing. If you want to create something and learn from it, create something that you can achieve in the foreseeable future. For instance, for my game, I had planned to do the game in about 2 years. I noticed it didn't work out, so I have been working on it 2 years, and I might work another, or maybe two more years on it until it is finished. And if you start out with something that you can never achieve, then you might learn a lot, but at the same time, do not learn anything. Because you need to figure out your limits and need to work with those. That's one of the hardest and most important part of game design, level design. Find your limits, stick to them, and don't kill your game with adding too much stuff. There's a word for it: feature creep, or mechanic creep, or something like that. That will kind of kill your game. If you add all the nice ideas you see everywhere, you will first never finish your game, because there's always new stuff to add. And second, you will constantly working on it and constantly changing everything to work with the other features, and you will probably never finish your game. Yeah, you can do that, but always keep in mind um, the scope of your game or visualization project or whatever, and then only if that part is finished, then you can add more to it and expand on it. But finish the part first. Finish your small island, or finish, um, I don't know, the South Docks in London or whatever. If that's the whole goal, yeah, go for it. But um, it's always, um, learning a lot of stuff is good, but you want to get something back from it. You either want to have people play your game, or people buy your assets that you created, or look at your video of the visualization you had, and something like that. Or you kind of create um, a 3D model of your house or of your dream house or something like that. Moving engines is never easy. But for instance, if you create a specific landscape height map, you can move that to another engine. So you can recreate parts of your game in another engine. If you created 3D models, you can also move them to another engine with a few tweaks here and there so that it works. But all um, the gameplay and stuff like that you need to do from scratch. That's why I said make a really create a really small project that you can maybe do in, let's say, months, and do that in all the engines you want to try out. So do that in Unreal, do that in CryEngine, do that in Unity, and then see which workflow, which engine you like the best, and stick with that. And maybe for another project where another engine is suited more, you can switch to that one. But for the big project, your project, stick with one engine. So, I have the table. Should have the table over here somewhere. So I can switch that out. Okay, this one has a different rotation. Let's see. Let's rotate that by 90. It kind of depends on what you can do. So if you're really good at programming, it doesn't really matter. If you're not so good at programming, but want to learn programming, I would say jump into Unreal or Unity. I'm not so sure about CryEngine, how beginner friendly that is. But I think you need to know C++ to work in it. I haven't really worked with CryEngine. I had a look at it some years ago on an earlier version of it, not the one that you can buy at the moment or download at the moment. So I'm not sure about that. it kind of depends what you can do, what you are willing to learn, basically, just to do the first steps. I really like blueprints because, in my opinion, they are easy to use and um, easy to create something um, that kind of works. Um, but it wasn't the first engine I worked with, or the first of the bigger engine. I started with Unity, but I had a bit of have a bit of programming background, so I already knew basics of programming and logic and all that stuff, and so using C# was easy for me. So if you don't know logic and basics of programming, I would say go for Unreal Engine, learn that with blueprints, and then go to C++ if you need it. So let's see. Okay, this definitely broke a lot here. Let's see. This should still work size-wise in here. Yeah, it does. Okay, this is definitely broken a lot, this house. Let's see if we can play from here, or if it's kicking us out of it. Yeah, no, it doesn't work. So I need to what the hell? Oh. Damn it. Yeah, that happens sometimes. That's kind of the issue of my blueprints here. So, to edit this. Viewport. I need to empty out these instances here. crashed. Awesome. Okay, so the table looked okay. I just need to fix my damn blueprints. One other thing I might need to fix is the pivot. Origin or whatever you might call it. Okay, let's first put the origin to center of mass for the surface. Yeah, that's an issue. That's true. Yeah. Let's change this to center of mass volume. No. Let's move this down slightly. Get. Oh, we don't have a plane here. Let's create a plane. Just to fix the position. Okay, so let's put the origin to 3D cursor and let's export this out again. And let's load up the engine again. Don't need that. Skip restore. Yeah, once you have worked on a bit of your game, you will notice that you need you need to get you need to make yourself kind of constraints, stuff that you need to look for that kind of show you ends of your game, and they really help you stay with it and help you finish it. Otherwise, at some point, you will just lose interest and do something else, because it can be really daunting to go on sometimes. No, you can post links if it's related to something that we are talking about, or related to the stream. It's okay. If it's some random music video, please don't. Yeah, you see, you have a bit of um, experience with creating maps. That could help you. So Saint Medium, if it's something related, you can definitely post the link. You won't get banned for that. Okay, let's re-import the table here again. Yeah, this is Blender. If you haven't worked in a 3D program, then watch tutorials for getting started in Blender. Um, uh, yeah, okay. You can post that. If you have worked in a 3D program before and switch to Blender, be aware that Blender is using a few different terms and ways to work with it. Yeah, this here's Blender. Fear the wolves. Okay. Mm. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. Gameplay wise, it looks a bit like a battle royale game, and I really don't like those. But it's definitely a pretty game, yeah. That's for sure. Wait, is that related to the older Fear games? Or is it something that just sounds similar? Or because the word fear was kind of highlighted there, and I mean it would be interesting if it's related to those games, even though they were a bit more supernatural and a bit crazier. So let's give this proper name. And let's duplicate those, separate them, and hide that table. Because I want to reuse those. So let's create another one of these. And for that one, using this. And I'm just using these kind of predefined pieces here and build my furniture out of them. It saves on textures, and I'm also using a lot of modular stuff like that for my houses and so on. Oh, damn it. Still need to fix this blueprint. No problem at all. Thank you for the bits. And why are they not showing up properly? Strange. I mean, okay, they are in there. I just must have missed it. There should be a proper alert, and then they should show up. But it's okay. Let's... Oh, it did change the material in here. And this is broken. Okay, because it didn't save all these. So I need to import the rest here. Let's see. Furniture textures. Okay. Save that. Save those. compile this, and on successful compile it should save this already, so that don't need to redo those. Don't have these pieces in here. Let's just fix that. Okay, we do have an issue here. I'm just fixing this because it will get quite annoying if I'm not doing that. No, it's not that important at the moment. But I just like to have this all fixed properly. And let's check something here real quick. So, no, they're at E3, so they are not doing a live stream today, I think. So we could just continue working here. Yeah, what I'm doing here is a kind of a flaw in my blueprint system in combination with a plugin I'm using for instance static meshes. They do not really work well together, so that's the issue I have here. I accidentally clicked on my brewery instance of this plugin, and it kind of took the data and copied it into the whole thing. So that's why I need to empty these out. So not that all at the moment all my buildings that I'm using kind of copy this data now. So as you can see here, we get all these added to that for some reason. And it's just an array here. It's a data array. There are no tables for that yet. I want to switch them over to data tables at some point, but I'm not quite sure if I want to really continue working on this blueprint, because it's kind of more annoying than it needs to be. I think I'm faster building those houses kind of on my own. Then was the blueprint. Oh, the tables. They looked okay. Yeah, sorry. When I'm thinking about data stuff, I'm jumping to data tables in my head, which is a good thing to use because then you have control over it from the outside. But yeah, the tables look good. Just kind of created this mess here and wanted to change that real fast. Hello, Cat King. How are you? This is a blueprint for kind of data-driven houses, but there's the number of instances here are wrong. I kind of changed the base object that I shouldn't have changed, and I need to fix that at the moment. And what it looks like normally is something like this. So you have a bit of data for this house and another bit of data for a house like this and stuff like that. And really big bunch of data for a house like that. So here we have 590 array elements to kind of create this house. And the game will be an exploration adventure game. And I can show that to you in a moment, but I first want to fix this here. Should be done in a moment. Give me a second. Let's see. Oh wait, no. Inside ceilings, let's remove those. Stone ceilings. Okay, so this should be fixed now. Yeah, no more floating stuff here. And let's load in the town. I can show you the game a bit. So it's a big open world map here, and if you just jump into the game here, this is the start area, and there's a kind of tutorial level before that, but let's just jump in and have a look here. So it's first person, you can walk around, pick up items, and talk to people. Slightly branching dialogue, in this case not so much because I haven't added a lot of branches there. Then we have a quest log, and we also have an inventory with items in it, for instance the crystal I just picked up, some coins, some other stuff here. And then it's mostly walking around, talking to people, and trying to solve the quests or do the quests. I've been working on this for a bit over 2 years now. Yeah, most of these houses are broken because I changed some of the elements here. Let's pick up another quest here in town. Let's see if we can get in here and talk to this guy. And here we can pick up another quest. And now we have this new quest here to get beer. The sound you hear is sound of opening doors, but it's kind of broken at the moment. Still need to fix that. It's in, I would say it's an alpha stage at the moment. And which means not all the mechanics are 100% done, and I'm still kind of working on the world and all that stuff, and it's definitely doesn't have the full content in. Let's avoid that guy because you can run into him. But his dialogue's broken in some places. No problem, I understood you. So... Okay. I think we just lied to them because if I look here, we do have coins on us, so we have some money, but it's okay. They're not checking. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. What did you not understand? How long I've been working on the game? I've been working on the game 2 years. Bit over 2 years by now. But the thing is, I'm working on the game alone, so it's a bit slower than it should be. Let's call it that way. I just recently got a bit of help from Switchmark, who's in chat here. He helped me out with a few props and furniture pieces. And most of the other stuff I created on my own. The trees I bought. And yeah, the game is in an alpha stage, in a stage where it's far from finished, far from done, and kind of still working on the things you can do in game, figuring out what I want to add, what would be too much for the game and stuff like that. That's why it's still an alpha and not in beta. Even though those terms are a bit changed a bit over the years. I learned them as alpha is a stage where you have most of the mechanics done, but the content is not there yet. Beta is a stage where all the mechanics are done and most of the content is done, or at least planned, and then you have kind of the release or gold status where basically everything should be done and stuff like that. But I'm somewhere in alpha stage, maybe late alpha. So I'm mostly done with the mechanics. And I'm not sure if I'm adding much to it. Kind of doubt it. So let's see, can we walk in here? Not really. Let's see, can we jump in here? Wait, so these tables are not changed. So let's save all this here. Let's re-import that one. Fix that. And let's see, I think I need to rotate it. Oh, it's the wrong one. Yeah. No, let's not do that. Let's not rotate that in here. Rotate that in here. Yeah, like I said earlier to what's the name? Unversionizer. If you want to do your own game, keep it small, keep it simple, keep it at something that you can finish in a reasonable time frame. So don't do an MMO. Don't do kind of a big open world game to rival Ubisoft games. Do something simple. Pick something that you can do in maybe, if it's your first game, pick something that you can finish in a month. Start really small, really simple, and get that done in a month or maybe a bit more. And then build from there. Either add to that project or start a new project with a slightly larger scope. And scope is how big your game could be, what the player can do, and stuff like that. And maybe try to recreate classics. Do a Tetris, do Pong, do kind of simple Super Mario, do all that stuff to learn different mechanics, different ways games work, and kind of go from there and build up your skills from that. Not just jump into your dream game and try to work on that. Try to keep it on your stuff. Okay, so they are doing a live stream, which means I might stop here because I want to watch that. And as usual, they don't show that properly. So 4.20 preview. That sounds interesting. I want to see what they are doing. Yeah, the problem is it's a multiplayer game, and doing a multiplayer game, if you haven't created anything before, can be a bit much. So I would say either find a really good tutorial for that, for multiplayer stuff, or do something else, something similar. Yeah, if your focus is on creating high quality models, then yeah, you can definitely do that. If your focus is on making a game, um, I would go even simpler. For your first game, keep it at boxes. Boxes, simple shapes, just have game mechanics running. Um, but if your focus is on graphics and 3D stuff, then yeah, definitely go for something like that. It's always keep in mind what you want to focus on. If you want to do graphics and work on 3D stuff, but not so much mechanics, then jump into it, make it as pretty as you can. Yeah. But then you need to make sure that you learn the right ways to do 3D modeling, texturing, and all that stuff. Because if you spend a lot of time kind of doing it the wrong way and then want to get a job in that regard, and you need to completely relearn everything you did before, it's not good. So find good tutorials, find people that can tell you what you do wrong, show it to other people and stuff like that. For instance, I've been doing a lot of wrong stuff in my 3D models, even though I've been doing them for a few years by now. For instance, Mark helped me a lot, um, change change a few things and stuff like that. No. Okay, but I will stop my stream now because I wanted to watch the Unreal Engine live stream, and um, I will host it here. So if you want to watch that as well, you can just stay here and watch it from here, or switch over to the Unreal stream. Just need to check if they're live already or if they're just starting out. Okay, they're already live. Okay, so let's jump over there and watch them.